module, What Brings Me Joy, is all about individual and family recreation. It's super important that we are moving our bodies around and but finding ways to do it that are going to be beneficial to us and that we enjoy so that we're more likely to keep doing them, keep finding that positive um, consequence that we would get from it. So, as this portion of our book covers, it talks about how recreational activities can benefit us and also our wellness. Again, I want to keep thinking of this idea of 8 different components, and this is one slice of those components in the physical category, but it's also going to benefit you in other ways, like socially. We want to use the physical activity pyramid as a guide to create a physically active lifestyle. Keeping in mind, we want to make sure we're getting all types of fitness, describing how to apply the FIT principle, identifying strategies and tactics for being a prudent consumer of fitness equipment and services, and even kind of just knowing what things are a waste of money too, because there's a huge market out there for income for people that want to make money off of exercise equipment. So just making sure you're not purchasing things that aren't really going to be helpful to you, and then exploring recreational activities that you actually enjoy and can keep doing for a lifetime. So think about yourself right now, and would you consider yourself an active individual or someone who's more sedentary? And then what are your motives or incentives that keep you active? So if you're already not active enough, you're like, oh, gee, I need to change this. Then let's start thinking about, okay, what are some things I can start to adapt into my lifestyle? But if you are being active already, how can we keep that going so that it's something you can keep experiencing? So we also want to look at what are some of the reasons that cause people to not be active. Is it sickness, cold, busyness, all the different things that can kind of get in the way? So just kind of think about yourself for a moment. And again, this course is very much designed to help you become your best self. So what can you do and what things are kind of barriers? So common barriers that people often say for not being active are they don't have the confidence. They're afraid that they'll look funny doing certain activities and no one would, not make fun of them or something. So that's kind of an important way to look at it, as well as some people just say, hey, I don't have enough time. I'm certainly not motivated on my own. You might just think it's completely inconvenient to work out. It doesn't fit into your lifestyle. And maybe you just don't enjoy it. You think it's boring. Those are definite barriers. The ones that we really hear often, though, are not taking time and not having time. Time often ends up being some of the largest complaints. So, thinking about individual and family recreation, there's really good reasons for being active, and one of them is it actually elevates your mood. It's almost like taking a medication, only it's natural. So we're going to release these positive endorphins in our mind and our body that actually elevate our mood. It helps you relax. So once you've worked out and you're trying to wind down for the evening, or you're just trying to do daily tasks, it can kind of help balance things out and it can just improve your overall health in general. So thinking about yourself personally, like in your day, are you spending a ton of time just on social media? Maybe you're on your phone so many hours per day. Maybe you're watching Netflix and you're spending lots of times in social media outlets. So wherever it is that you're spending your time, you want to look at it and kind of decide, are there some things that I'm not doing because I'm filling up my time with things that really do not have to be happening? And so when you look at it, this one just gives you an example of, how much time was spent on average on days of the week from May to December of 19 to 20. So obviously this is a little bit old, but all leisure and sports activities for 2020. And then when you look at 2019, it was a little bit less for averages. And they're looking at hours per day at the bottom there. So kind of gauging up from there. So obviously it's going to be all over the place for each person. And this may be similar to what your average day looks like, but it may be completely different too. So just try to get a gauge for yourself. What are you spending your time When it comes to the physical activity pyramid, you want to think of all these different levels that are there. It gives you recommended amounts and types of physical activity according to FIT principles. And FIT stands for frequency, intensity, time, and the type. So someone who's just starting to work out, they're going to start with shorter increments of time, maybe not quite as often, especially not as intense, and maybe types that are going to be more modified before they would increase into higher levels. So when you look at this chart right here, you're going to notice that the rest and activity time that's on level 4, that's that's what you want the least of course. Then 3, you're going to be working on muscular health and flexibility. So at least a couple days a week, 2 to 3 times a week, you want to be stretching, you want to be doing weight training or weight bearing exercises to help your body be physically fit. The next level that gets down towards that third spot, which is level 2, is physical activity 2 to 3 times a week that is aerobic. So get your heart rate up, you're using oxygen. It says 2 to 3 times. I honestly recommend at least 3 times. 2 is really not quite enough, but at least 3 times a week getting physical activity, and that's going to get your heart rate up into a zone. And that zone is going to make your heart stronger, or at least maintain the health level that it currently has. So you want to be doing things that get the heart rate up. And then physical activity every day is what we see at the very bottom. And that's just this idea of we should be active at least so many minutes a day. And in high school, middle school, it's 60 minutes a day. As we get older, they drop it down a little bit. But really just striving to be active for at least so many minutes per day. Of course, some of those minutes can be exercise, but it's also things like raking leaves, shoveling snow, vacuuming your apartment or your house, cleaning out your car, like all of that counts as being active. So we just want to think about our bodies being in motion and that we're doing things that are going to give us health and wellness benefits and do it as often as we can. So individual and family recreation, you want to find something you like to do on every level of that pyramid. So it's good to mix it up too and not always do the same thing, because you do want to avoid causing injuries that are from overuse that can happen for some people. So thinking about in what ways can you adapt the pyramid to your exercise routine. Maybe you already run a couple times a week because you just have kind of like a runner's high, kind of a passion for that. But then you really kind of skip any weight bearing activity or any stretching for any length of time. So you know that it would be helpful or beneficial to add that level of the pyramid to your workouts. So thinking about yourself, like what is one specific area that you could improve on? And trying to imagine that and even starting to think about how you could fit that into your calendar. And then figuring out what do you find the most useful in helping you to do these things. So maybe you need a workout buddy or someone to hold you accountable. Maybe you do well by looking at YouTube videos and picking out HIIT workouts, high intensity interval training workouts that you can find on derby.com or something. But you want to do something that's going to be helpful for you. So when you develop your workout, you want to have enough frequency, especially with each type. So physical activities should be happening every day, and weight training and flexibility, of course, at least 2 to 3 times. The periodicity is breaking up into small increments. So maybe your schedule's jam-packed, and so you can't do a workout all in one 30-minute chunk. You might need to do 10 in the morning, 10 after lunch, and 10 before dinner. Anything is going to be better than skipping it altogether. So you might have to do that breaking into segments, which is better than not doing it at all. You also might want to think of the idea of interval training to maximize oxygen carrying capacity. So this interval training idea would be getting your heart rate up to a higher percentage of the zone and then backing down to a lower intensity level and going back and forth throughout your workout. And that can also just make the workout a little more enjoyable if you don't want to go hard for a long time in a row. It can kind of give you a little bit of rest and recovery time, which is what a lot of those high intensity interval training workouts will do for you. And I oftentimes will even do quick videos if I'm in a hurry, just try to get a 20-minute workout in where I have some intervals going. The main thing is wherever you're at, if you're already really physically fit, you want to try to stay there. If you're over exercising and causing yourself injuries, you want to think of, okay, what kind of exercise am I missing out that I need to kind of adapt or change? And if you're not really working out on a regular basis yet, then let's think of where can you start? What would be a good starting point? Would it be walking several days a week? Is it going to be doing some types of stretching or something that's going to help you slowly start to build? Scientists use this idea of the metabolic equivalent of task. So METs are how much energy you're burning for what you're doing. So we want to try to get activities going that will work with your skill level, your effort level, your motivation, and try to think about increasing how many calories you're burning per day by working and moving. So we want to think of this again, metabolic equivalent of task, this MET. So intensity. We want to realize that intensity is going to burn more fat if it's greater. Time spent, you want to make a valuable investment in how much you're exercising in your daily schedule, and then picking a type that you love and don't resent. I personally am not really someone who likes to do long distance running, so for me to try to set that up as my workout plan is not going to be beneficial. But for biking and yoga and doing hiking, I'm going to be all over that. So I, of course, would want to pick my workouts based on that need to do something I really enjoy and not resent. Because quality of life is better as we engage in physical activities and we can enjoy time with our friends and family. So I often like to try to work out with a friend. I might even meet them on a trail to work out. It just makes it a lot more fun. So thinking about how you can make your be aware, the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, gives tips for buying exercise equipment. They think you should, read the performance claims critically, be skeptical of testimonies of people just saying, I did this once a day for a week and I lost 100 pounds. You want to be skeptical of that kind of thing. Ask yourself if the equipment will help you achieve your desired goal and will it help you stick to it, or is that piece of equipment going to sit in your corner and just get dust collecting all over it? So you got to be careful about those types of things. And then another thing to think about is you can shop around a little bit. You don't have to just buy the first thing or join the first gym that you come to. You can do a little bit of shopping. There's a lot of stuff out there now to think about. And you want to get details if there are warranties or return policies and check out the company's customer and support services. Do they have them? Are they going to be there for you to help you out? Because really, it's a booming business and people are trying to make money. So that makes sense. They're going to make it look like the best thing out there. So you want to know that there's testimonies of people that are actually true. These days, we even have AI out there that kind of can jump in and tell us things that might not even be true. So we have to be really careful and be wary of products that guarantee to improve appearance when that's not really a guarantee that they can make. So is it a legitimate company? Is it one that I can trust? So be real careful when it comes to buying equipment. Some other things to think about are trying activities that maybe are not as well known and trying to do things that your body can benefit from that maybe aren't every day. So yoga, I've been teaching yoga for over 10 years, and it's something that's really been helping me mentally, physically, and even spiritually to some level. So thinking about trying yoga is an option to help your body. And there's different types of yoga. I like to teach power yoga, which is more of a fitness level, but then there's more rhythmic and breath synchronized yoga. Vinyasa is what that's referred to. Tai Chi is an ancient Chinese martial art that people do for their health and relaxation. I've heard people say that it's been very helpful for balance and coordination. It releases tension and stress, and it's really good for the joints. So it's something that can be really beneficial for that. Qigong is a moving meditation that's done primarily while sitting or standing. Um, and so this one I haven't ever had the opportunity to try, but I've heard some really good things about it. And the real key here is they really want to emphasize that people are trying to heal, and that's very helpful for the body in general. Another thing to think about as you're kind of finishing up this slideshow is you don't have to stop working out when you get older. If anything, if you stop working out, you will age faster. So it's not a hindrance to activity, to exercise. Many adults exercise on a daily basis, and the key is maintaining physical exercise throughout your lifetime. So there's an example of Dara Grace Torres, who became the oldest Olympic medalist in the history of swimming. She won 3 silver medals. I'm 53 today as I'm talking about this, and I've been working out since I was 7. And I just know it's been beneficial in my life to work out. And I feel like the minute I stop working out, which is not in my plans, is when my body will start to break down more. So, highly recommend people are working out at all ages. Don't stop working out because someone's getting older. So, what can you do? What physical activities do you enjoy? Find some if you haven't found one you've already enjoyed. Try to really do some research on that. What time of day would work best for you? Try to get it into your schedule if morning is better than afternoon or afternoon is better than evening. And then how can you make sure physical exercise becomes a joy and a daily part of your life so that you're not going to just kind of throw it off to the side? And how does being physically active bring your body wellness and complete wellness? So trying to work on being your best self. And that's always what we're going for when it comes to our health. So moving forward, choose to participate in fun-filled physical activities that you know your body's going to benefit from. Take advantage of opportunities to learn new skills and enjoyable recreational activities. I know one thing I've really been enjoying lately is pickleball, and that's been a really fun thing to learn. Making wise selections for creating a physical active lifestyle, picking things that are going to be beneficial, recognizing health benefits that you receive from being physically active, developing skills for engaging in a wide variety of leisure time activities, and then keeping your eyes open for new and available activities that add to your repertoire in the future. So maybe you've done the same thing for a very long time and it might be a good time to just kind of venture out a little bit.